In today's video, I will show you how to make this spooky Halloween pillow. There is no zip and it is perfect for beginners. You will need some fabric. I have used a cotton twill. This is actually a tablecloth. Buttons. I have used black for all my trims, but you can get creative and colourful if you prefer. Yarn. A chunky knit will work best, but if you have thinner yarn, just cut larger strips than I do. Embroidery thread, and sequins if you want to add some sparkle. You also need fusible interfacing the size of your cushion. Your cushion insert will determine the size of your fabric. I will show you how to calculate. First, look at the label and it should tell you your measurements. If not, use a tape measure. To begin, draw a straight line on the cross grain of your fabric. Now draw a horizontal line up the height of your cushion plus 2 centimeters. We will work with a 1 centimeter seam allowance in this project. Square this off across your fabric. Starting from your vertical line at the side, measure 3 centimeters. This is our turn for the raw edge of our pillow opening. From this mark, measure 2/3 of the width of your pillow. Draw the vertical lines. Now measure the width of your pillow plus 2 centimeters. This section will be our pillow front. From this mark, measure 1/2 the pillow width. Then add our 3 centimeters to turn our raw edge. Cut this out. We begin by folding under the 3 centimeter edges. Use a ruler, turn to the wrong side by 1.5 centimeters and press, then 1.5 centimeters again. Sew this with a straight stitch on the folded edge. Repeat for both sides. Still working on the wrong side, attach your interfacing to your centre square. This adds structure to the fabric so we can decorate without puckering our material. Work from the centre towards the edges, lifting your iron instead of sliding. To complete our preparation for decorating, we finish the horizontal raw edges. I have used an overlocker without the knife engaged. You can use a zigzag stitch on your regular machine if you don't have one. Use an erasable marker like chalk to guide you with your design. Begin by drawing your boundaries on the correct side of your fabric so you can see where you are working. You can do any design in here, just remember you have a 1 centimeter seam allowance top and bottom. I will now show you how to form the spiderweb design I have used. Begin by picking the middle of your spiderweb and draw lines out all the way around. Sew from one edge to the other along these lines, pivoting at the centre. Make sure you backstitch at the beginning and end to secure your threads. Do not sew over your boundary lines. You can use an embroidery thread for this. I used regular thread on a double stitch setting to make my lines thicker. Cross webs are made by marking from the centre of the web on each line the same distance. You do not have to use any particular distance. Be creative and make it as dense or loose as you desire. I started with a 1.5 centimetre loop to begin. We will sew this by beginning on a mark on a line. Then we will guide the fabric in a curve towards the centre and back down to the mark on the next line. Here we will leave our needle down in the line, lift the presser foot and pivot the fabric. Lower the presser foot and begin our next upwards curve towards the next line. We will repeat this all the way round till we meet our first stitch, where we will tie off with a back stitch. If you have a free motion option on your machine, you can use this, but I am showing how it can be done with a regular machine that beginners will have access to. We cut our threads and we now measure for our next loop. I did 1 centimetre next. We repeat the process at the machine, doing each loop in turn. The process will get easier as the loops get bigger. If you have placed the middle of your web off centre like I, you will eventually reach a point where you measure off certain lines but not all. At this stage, mark where the point should be and draw in the curve inside your decoration area. You only want to sew inside the boundaries. You may have to tie off multiple times and restart during these loops. To form the spiders, begin with your buttons. Place as desired and sew them on by hand or with your machine. For a quicker make, you can proceed to the legs with just the buttons. This gives you a cuter, more childlike spider. The larger body is made using the yarn. Cut a strip about 15 centimetres in length. The longer, the bigger the body will be. Tie a knot at one end and sew this to your fabric beside the button. Now form loose knots, looping it around your initial knot you secured. Eventually, you will reach the end of your yarn. Loop this round and tuck it under the blob of yarn you have formed. To secure in place, use your hand sewing needle and sew upwards through the body of the blob and back down at the side of the blob. Repeat this, going round in a circle, securing the yarn all the way round. You now have a body with lots of volume. Repeat for all your buttons. Here is the process again from another angle. The legs are made next by hand using embroidery thread. This is thicker so they stand out against the web. You will need an embroidery needle as it has a bigger eye to accommodate the multiple strands of threads. Refer to pictures online for guidance. You can make them as menacing and lifelike as you desire. I'll now copy the 4 legs onto the other side of the body. I'll do this for every spider. Complete, I also attached some of the sequins for sparkle. You don't have to do this, but I like how it catches the light. The hand sewing will have crumpled the fabric, so press each side. Fold the fabric under on your decoration boundary line and press. This is so we get sharp edges on our finished pillow. To complete the pillow construction, fold the lines you have just pressed in the opposite direction so that the right sides of the fabric are touching. Overlap the edges and pin. Sew along the edges at our 1 cm seam allowance. Backstitch at the beginning and end and also at the 3 cm folded edge. This is where the pillow will receive the most pulling. Turn the pillowcase the right way round and pull out all the corners so that they are sharp. Use your envelope on the back to place your cushion insert inside. Take some time now to wipe away any of the fabric marker you have used during the design process and clean up the pillow. I use a spray bottle with clean water inside and a scrap of fabric to lightly rub each spot. Let the cushion dry. Here is your final spooky cushion. You can make this cheaply with very little materials. The cushion cover is so versatile and you can decorate it any way you want. This is a great Halloween project for all ages who enjoy being creative. If you have enjoyed today's tutorial, please hit like and subscribe to stay notified of new videos. Happy sewing!